Hey guys, wanted to show you what your note should look like. 2 pages tonight. Titled Lesson 3-7, Divide Decimals by Whole Numbers. And today's date is 9/19/19. Apparently, I wrote the wrong year in yesterday's notes, so I apologize for that. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the left side of our composition notebook, and we're going to take some notes. So let me switch over to our new screen, and here we go. So we're going to start with a problem. 6.8 divided by 2. So here are the steps that we're going to do when we do division with decimals. Now, what's going to be unique is that our dividend is going to be the decimal, and the divisor is going to be a whole number. Okay? Tomorrow night, they're both going to have decimals in them. Okay? All right, so we're going to rewrite our problem. Using the division house symbol. Division house symbol. I've got to figure out if there's a better word for that. So what I'm saying is we're going to take that problem. The divisor is going to go outside. We've got the division house is like a capital L that's on its side. And the dividend, the first number we see in the division problem, goes underneath that. Okay? Next, we're going to ask ourselves this question. Is the divisor a whole number? In other words, no decimal is part of it. And if we say yes, which is going to be the case on this whole video and the practice we do tomorrow, we're going to bring the decimal from the dividend straight up into the quotient. Okay? Now, again, this is not going to happen on tonight's homework, but I need to warn you. You can't divide by a decimal. Okay? And like I said, more news on this tomorrow. Okay? So, let's get back to our problem. We've got 2 dividing into 6.8, and this decimal point goes straight up into the quotient. Okay? Then we're just going to go ahead and start dividing. Now, the practice we did yesterday, all the division problems terminated, right? Okay? We may have some interesting things happening. So, if there is no remainder, you brought everything down and it all worked out evenly, or even if you had to continue the number on, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but you still ended up with no remainder, this is called a terminating decimal. Okay, so let's do our math off to the side. We've got 2 dividing into 6.8. The decimal point comes up. 2 can go into 6 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. We subtract, we get a difference of 0. 2 is definitely bigger than 0, so we bring down the 8. How many times does 2 go into 8? It goes in 4 times. So notice I'm lining things up very neatly as I do this problem. 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 take away 0 is 8. Okay, so that's it. So what if we get to bringing down that last digit and there's still a remainder? So what if a remainder exists? So, and we've got nothing left to bring down. That's when we bring our old friend annex. Remember, annex means to add a 0. 1 0 at a time. And continue dividing. Until the problem terminates or repeats. No remainder, that's what terminate means, or repeats, and that means you just get the same digit over and over and over again. Okay? So let's go ahead and do a couple practice problems here at the bottom. Now, on your page, you should have plenty of room for this. Directions are going to ask us to divide. So the first one, they usually give us the problem horizontally, and so our job is to then rewrite it with the division house. I do not see a decimal in my divisor, so I'm going to bring the decimal point straight up. Now 4 can't go into 3, so I'm going to put a 0 there saying it can't go in. 4 goes into 34 8 times, which is 32. We have a difference of 2. And then we bring down the 9. 4 goes into 29 7 times, which is 28. We subtract, and we have a difference of 1. And this is where we run into a problem. I have a remainder, but I have no more digits. So what we're going to do is annex a 0 one at a time and bring it down. Now we're going to divide 4 into 10, and that's going to go in 2 times, which is 8, with a difference of 2. I still have a remainder, so I'm going to go ahead and annex another 0. And how many times does 4 go into 20? It goes in 5 times. And when I subtract, we finally get the remainder of 0. Okay? So there's our answer, is a whopping 8,725 10,000ths. Okay, let's do one more like that. It's a little harder. We've got a 2-digit divisor, and probably not something that's in our wheelhouse of having memorized facts. So we're going to rewrite this problem as 17 dividing into the 55.08. So again, my divisor 17 doesn't have a decimal in it, so I can just go ahead and bring the decimal point from the dividend up straight into the answer. Now this is where I'm probably going to be doing some math off to the side, trying to figure out how many times 17 goes into 55 and so on. So let's see, I'm going to try 2, and let's see, that gives me 14, that gives me 34. Maybe I can go a little higher, so let me try 3. So that's 21, we get 3 and 2 is 5. That's as close as I'm probably going to get. So we're going to put a 3 over the last digit of what we're dividing into. That gives me 51 when I multiply 17 times 3, and when I subtract, I get a difference of 4. So I bring down the next digit, 0. 17, let's see, well, 51 is too much, 34 is below that, so it's got to be twice, which is 34, and when I subtract, I get a difference of 6. Bring down the 8. Well, it's definitely bigger than 51, so I'm going to try 4. So I get 28, and 4 and 2 is 6. Hey, look at that. That's it. So we subtract 68, and we get a remainder of 0. So it terminates. And then it was nice because we didn't have to actually annex any zeros on this one. So the answer is going to be 3 and 24/100. Okay, so then now on the second page, we're going to do 2-word problems. All right, presto, here we are. So we got 2-word problems. Let's start with the first one. Phil is emailing a care package to his brother. The table gives the cost for mailing packages. Find the cost per pound of a 2-pound and 4-pound package. Okay, so let's start with 2 pounds. So I'm going to do it here over on the right. So I know that 2 pounds is going to cost the $5.63. So if I want to know it per pound, I'm going to divide $5.63 by 2. So I'm going to set it up. There's no decimal in my divisor, so I bring my decimal point straight up into my quotient from the dividend. 2 goes into 5 twice, which is 4, with difference of 1. Bring down the 6. 2 goes into 16 8 times, which is 16, no remainder. And 2 goes into 3 once, with 1 left over. Oops, let me change color on there. Going to annex a 0 so we can keep going. And 2 goes into 10 exactly 5 times. So we've terminated. Now the problem is this is money. So we're going to have to round this. So I'm going to move it off to the side here. This is the spot we want to round to. The 5 is going to tell me what to do. So I get an answer of approximately $2.82. Okay? All right. The second problem talks about 4 pounds. So let me get that guy going. And its cost. So we have 4 pounds, and it's going to cost $7.87. Yeah, and by the way, notice that it barely costs more for 2 pounds than it does 1 pound. So put a little bit more in that package, I guess. All right, so this one we're going to go ahead and line up. And let's see. I think I didn't have very much room to do this problem when I did it, so I'm actually going to do it all over here. So we've got 4 dividing into 7.87. So again, divisor doesn't have a decimal. Bring the decimal point straight up from the dividend. Start dividing. 4 goes into 7 once, with 3 left over. I'm always giving away the answer. 4 goes into 38 9 times, which is 36. Difference of 2. Bring down the 7. 4 goes into 27. Oh, just shy of 7, so 6 times, which is 24. Difference of 3. Bring down the 0. Oh, sorry. Let me change that color. Come here, you. So this is an example of when we have to annex a 0. If you hear that noise, that's my cat at the scratching post. Yep. And then 4 goes into 37 times, which is 28. Whew. Difference of 2. And we're going to annex another 0. And 4 can go into, get that red guy away, 4 can go into 25 times evenly. Yeah, I did run out of room before. With the same problem we did with this number that we did in the other problem, I'm going to do it over here. This is money, and money only goes 2 digits after the decimal point. So it's the 7 that's going to tell the 6 what to do. So that's going to round and be approximately $1.97. So I can do that if I want to, but I'm going to write out some sentences. So my sentences would be, in a 2-pound package, each pound costs about $2.82. In a 4-pound package, each pound costs about $1.97. So the moral to the story, send more and it'll be cheaper. All right, Kirsten and her 2 friends are sharing the cost of a funnel cake. The funnel cake cost $5.49. If Kirsten has $2, how much will she have left after she pays her share? Whew. So actually what I'm hearing going on are 2 different things. First off, we need to figure out what the cost is for each person. How much did each person pay for their share of the funnel cake? Next, for Kirsten specifically, we want to know how much money she has left over. So her leftover money. So again, the main thing about division is anytime we have a total and want to break it into equal size groupings, that's division. So let's go to our little friend here. We do know that we have 3 people and they paid $5.49 together. So we're going to rewrite that problem as 3 dividing into, let me give myself some more room for that. 3 dividing into $5.49. My divisor doesn't have a decimal in it, so I bring the decimal point straight up from the dividend. 3 goes into 5 once, which is 3, 2 left over, bring down the 4, 3 goes into 24 8 times evenly, bring down the 9, and 3 goes into 9 3 times evenly. And we terminate. So we know what each person pays. Each person is going to pay $1.83. So we're going to take that answer and we're going to put it over here. Now, how much money did Kirsten have? It says she had $2. Oops, sorry, that looks like $20. Let's try that again. So what we're going to do now is figure out what she has left over. So this is going to be a subtraction problem. So we're combining different operations on our homework, which is pretty cool. And we're going to have to rename, bring the decimal point down. So that becomes a 10, but we rename again, so that's a 9. He's a 10. 10 take away 3 is 7. 9 take away 8 is 1. And 1 take away 1 is 0. So we can say Kirsten will have 17 cents left over after paying her share of the funnel cake. Not exactly sure what she's going to buy with 17 cents. I mean, you can't even get a gumball for that, right? All right, there you go. Have fun with this tonight. See you tomorrow.